What's good, YouTube? Aydian here. I'm just doing a tea and post-op update. It's been a while. I've been on tea for 4.5 years now, and I got top surgery almost 2 years. 2 years in July, which has gone by so quick, but actually not really quick. It feels like I feel like I've had top surgery forever, just because, like, putting on a shirt and just living life every day is so easy and natural. But at the same time, it does feel like it went by really quick, just because it's just like I just still remember everything that went on, even though not wearing a binder seems so natural. I still remember totally having to wear a freaking binder. So yeah, top surgery 2 years ago, just about. As far as tea changes, we'll start there. I have not really seen much. The only tea change that I could really see is right here. My beard has really come in, and it's starting to connect right here. This side's acting a little slower than this side, but as you can see right there, it's almost connected, which is pretty cool. My beard grows in really quick. I can't complain about it. As far as my hair, I have not noticed any further receding at all lately, or hair thinning or anything. I was experiencing that pretty heavy between 2.5 to 3.5 years, I'll say, on tea. But that's kind of calmed down. I haven't really noticed my hair going back any further, and it definitely hasn't been thinning or anything like that in definitely a good year or so, I would say. As far as, like other things, like muscle development, I feel like is getting more mature. It's hard to tell because I do work out pretty frequently, so it's like a mix of probably the tea and working out. I still, fat redistribution. Bio guys have love handles. A lot of them do. I have pretty wide hips in general, so I still carry fat all along here and on the back. But that's not really anything new. I mean, I thought when I would start tea, just my love handles would just disappear. But at the same time, like, my hips are right here. These are my hip bones. And bone's never going to move. So they're always going to be, wider than, my chest. So it is what it is, really. The other things probably are mental. I'll talk a little bit about crying, because a lot of people talk about crying. So crying's weird. I can, like, cry at a commercial, one of those really long, dramatic commercials. Or I can cry, like, when I'm watching Animal Planet and someone saves, like, a pit bull from death. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I can legit have to hold back tears during certain times that just, honestly, just feel kind of stupid. Because I'm like, this was just a commercial and I'm, like, crying over it. So, I can definitely cry. I think what happens is, or at least personally how I've approached it is, before tea, I used to just get really upset and overwhelmed, just start crying, just as an outreach, as like a cleansing kind of thing, to kind of like rid myself of that feeling so that I can move on. But now that I've been on tea and, probably also just getting older, I mean, I started tea when I was 22 and now I'm going to be 27, so, that too is kind of a mature level in itself. So maturing and tea kind of go together. But yeah, so I think before I was crying and getting upset, and now I'm just kind of like, when something happens, I get more, I don't want to say this in a negative way, but more aggressive. That doesn't mean angry. Anger doesn't mean aggressive, but I get more aggressive with what's happening. So if I made this whole meal and spilled it all over the floor, before, maybe I would have gotten, like, really upset and depressed and just, like, went out and got some fast food and been like, fuck it, this sucks, I can't believe it, all this money, and I could have made a list of, like, really dramatic stuff all day long. But instead, now I just feel like I would be like, drop it, I would be like, fuck. I would get kind of mad, but I would get more aggressive. I would dump it out and be like, well, no, now I'm going to make it again, and I'm not going to drop it, because I'm going to prove to myself that I can make this freaking meal without dropping it. it's the same kind of thing in just life. It's like, I try to get a job and I don't get the job, and I'm like, all right, well, it just gives me more power to get another job, and I want to prove to myself and I want to prove to the world that I can do it. So, I feel like before I probably would have been like, oh man, I can't believe it, I didn't get this job, blah, blah, blah. That has to do with all different kinds of things, not just saying that women are full of emotion. Full of emotion, and men are just like, rah, I'm sure everything I say could be manipulated and twisted however somebody wants to see it, but if you know me, you know what I'm really trying to say here. So, otherwise, nothing really crazy, just kind of on edge. One thing I do notice is that I hate taking my shot. I really hate it. I forget all the time. I don't know, it's not that it's, yeah, alright, okay, you know what, maybe that'll be a different video. But, so that's it. As far as top surgery, I have complete range of mobility, almost 2 years. On T, I can just kind of flail around. The only time I feel a little stretch or a little pain is if I do an awkward movement, like reaching across a table weird, or reaching into the back seat, grabbing something in the back seat weird. And it's usually in my nipples. They're sensitive. And here is sensitive, where the drains came out. So they're completely flat, which is awesome. They're kind of a pinkish color. You see that color? I made this video because I thought the lighting in here was really nice. I think it shows it to its true self, as opposed to some videos makes it look redder, or it doesn't even look like I have any scars at all, which is not true. So I think this is more of a realistic picture. So it's I really can't complain at all. The muscle development kind of helps hide it. When you get back here, it just kind of curves in. So I'm really happy that I took all that time pre-T and built up my chest so that I could see results, fairly quickly after my top surgery. But yeah, so that's it. I think I'm gonna make a video about that other thing I was just talking about, because it's kind of cool and interesting topic. All right, guys, that's it. Peace.